Welcome back, everyone. We are in the garden right here at ABC4 with Lorene from Mill Creek Gardens. And today we're talking about the things that we can do now for spring, getting ready. And you've got a whole bunch of stuff. On this side, we have, herbs and edibles and things like that?
Yes, absolutely. It's time to get in the garden now. You can plant your leafy green vegetables like your broccoli, your lettuces, your kale, and they're all really healthy for us. And you can even have them outside in the cold weather. There's even some strawberries over here, and it's ready to get going in the garden. We have lots of herbs here you can also plant, especially the mints. This in here is the sage and the chives. They're delicious to be putting on your food fresh. They always taste better when you grow it yourself. We also have some seeds here, and I'd like to show you how easy it is to get these carrot seeds in the ground. I've taken carrots and mixed them with some white sand. You can also use sugar. Don't use salt. That'll contaminate your soil. And you just make a furrow here, and then you take and put the seeds in. You sprinkle them along, and you use the salt so that it's a carrier for these small seeds. You cover them up with a fraction of an inch of soil like this, and then you water them in, and in a week or 10 days, with some warm weather, those seeds will be up and growing. I also have some garlic here. You can do garlic starts, or you can take a garlic clove and separate it out, put them 3 or 4 inches apart and about 1.5 inches deep, and you'll have some garlic this summer and fall for your barbecues and your dinners. It's really easy. So again, you just plant it about 2 inches in the soil right here. You put that point side up and cover it with soil, and you're ready to go. Now that's pretty simple.
So wait, if you go to the grocery store and you get a garlic clove, you can do that? You can just plant it in there?
You could, but sometimes at the grocery store, those are from California or some tropical climates, and they're not as hardy as these.
Okay. So Mill Creek is the best place to get those, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
We also have some fingerling potatoes here, and they're wonderful. Here's a potato plant. That's what it's going to look like. You plant those, you put 3 to 5 eyes. These are little eyes, and you put those 3 to 5 in a piece, and you plant them in the ground a couple inches deep, and those will be growing up here. You'll have some tomatoes or some potatoes very quickly. Speaking of tomatoes, I did bring a plant here that even has a tomato growing on it. It is too cold to put those outside without a cover, so I want to show you how you can put a frost blanket over the top, or else one of these little hats here that you put right over the plant, and it will protect it 8 to 10 degrees in the colder weather. If it gets super cold, you may need to bring some of your tomatoes and other tropical warm season vegetables inside.
When can you take the covering off? Are we talking like May? How warm does it need to be outside?
That's a great question. What you want to do is, if you're starting seeds inside, or if you're buying plants, you want to make sure they're hardened off and that they will take the cold. Things like tomatoes, they do need to be covered. About Mother's Day is a safe time, even though it could be a little bit before, a little bit after.
Okay, let's talk about the seeds that we need to plant indoors now to get ready for a little warmer weather later.
Excellent. Okay, here's some zucchini squash seeds. You can also plant things like pumpkins, gourds, sunflowers, very easy to grow. And you can plant them in, these are called Jiffy 7s. If you put a seed here in the middle, maybe even 2 or 3 seeds per hill, and you just push it down in there. And these are little pouches that have peat moss in them, and they will suck up the water from the bottom, and very easy to grow. And they'll be up here. If you put this inside this weekend, you'll have them up in 10 days, and you'll have these little starts.
That's the fun thing about spring, Lorene, is that there's always going to be something happening.
That's
always
right.
going to be something. Speaking of watering, that guy looks like it needs some help.
It does, and I brought that on purpose because we have a very dry climate here. Our air is dry, and so when you see a plant that's wilted, you want to water it like that, and when the water seeps through, you want to water it again and again, and make sure that that gets hydrated clear to the middle of that root ball. And it's really tricky sometimes to know that. And I love to teach people about watering. See, you'd think that was wet all the way through, but see, there's still some dry pockets. So in a few minutes here, we'll give that more water, and then they will, in a couple hours, it'll be up again. And if it's not back up and it has its turgor pressure again, then you'll need to give it some more water. That's how you know.
Let's talk real quick about the flowering things that you can plant right now.
Absolutely. These are some miniature columbines, and you can plant columbines, English daisies, primroses, forsythia, even some heather right now. You can plant lilacs. You can plant spireas, lots of other shrubs that can go in the garden right now, even if it gets cold.
What about perennials? Are you safe to put those in now?
Absolutely. Here's another really neat perennial. It doesn't do a lot of flowering, but I love it for its foliage. Yes. It's the heuchera family, and there's lots of different colors.
Yes. Okay, and what do you have in this pot over here? Because this looks like spring ready to go.
These are called stock. And this is daffodils and pansies. And by the way, the pansies are edible, so you can put them in your salads. We also have some seeds here that you can put in the garden right now. Here's sweet peas, portulaca, cosmos. These are some of the easiest seeds to grow, as well as the snapdragons.
Oh, so many fun things. Okay, let me tell you, we are having a Good for Utah Garden question of the week. Question of the week now is, when should you fertilize your lawn for spring?
Ooh, right now, fertilize your lawn. If you want to prevent the weeds, you need to put a preventative to prevent crabgrass and other weeds. So fertilize right now. It's cool cooler weather, and those nitrogen, the nitrogen goes right into the roots and builds a strong root system.
Awesome. So if you have a question, just go to Lorraine's Facebook, write in your question, and we will answer it next week, and they get a prize, right?
The one who we choose their question, they'll get a prize.
All right, so whoever put in about the fertilizing for spring, you get a prize, and that's awesome. Okay, so Mill Creek Gardens, it's right there on 35th South, 9th East in Salt Lake City. You can go to their website, or you can go to ours. Their website is millcreekgardens.com, or of course, you can go to ABC4 / Good Things Utah, and we'll link you right there for this segment and all the information that Lorraine talked about. That's Mill Creek Gardens. Thank you so much. Look forward to next week, because this is all stuff that maybe we could do this weekend.
Sure. Get in the garden this weekend. You can be planting lots of vegetable seeds. You can be planting lots of perennial flowers. Of course, the pansies, primroses, and perennials are always good to put in right now. And we have some beautiful flowering trees like lilacs, flowering pears. There's some beautiful weeping cherries right now. They just came off the truck yesterday. There's several more shipments coming in. So even the herbs, as we talked about. So get in the garden, get things cleaned up, and have fun getting your fingernails dirty.
Well, even if you don't plan on doing anything, go to Mill Creek Gardens, walk around. It's so pretty. It is so pretty this time of year. Thank you so much again.